Welcome back, adventurer. Today's creature has been described as a horse and rider with a very close relationship and very little skin. If that's got your curiosity quivering, then come, pull up a stool at Creature Tavern. Well, wrap me knees and call me Phantom of the Grove. It's you, adventurer. I was certain you'd never make it back from that last questionable quest. Come, sit. This calls for a tale. Let's have the one about the Nuckelavee from Scottish folklore. The Nuckelavee, also goes by Nuckelavee, means Devil of the Sea, and it's said the locals don't dare speak its name without uttering a prayer after. This abomination hails from the Orkney Isles, way up north. The islanders say it's the nastiest of all the demons of Scotland's Northern Isles. Are you ready to know its face, adventurer? Let's start with the base. Legends say it's a horse, but not like any you've seen hitched out front. This one's got fins fixed to each leg, and it's stripped bare of any tuft of hair and every inch of skin. Just raw, exposed muscle and pale sinew. If you're brave, or maybe enough pints in to get close enough, you'll see every tendon flex and quiver on this pulsating mass. What you won't need to get close up to see are the great thick yellow veins that snake across the Nuckelavee's frame, pumping black blood like tar across a fleshy canvas. And the horse's head. Well, the old fables say it possesses an enormous, gaping maw, and just the one eye, just that one burning red eye, right in the centre. Then up from the beast's back, right where a rider ought to be, there's the torso of a man, or at least what used to be a man. Much like his steed, he ain't got skin, just meat. And folks that have crossed paths with the beastie always mention its arms, far longer than any humans, dangling low enough to drag along the ground as it moves. But in my opinion, the most unnerving feature is its head. No, not the horse's head, the human's. It's far too big, bulbous and swollen, said to gently rock back and forth like a flayed jack-in-the-box. And in some tales, this head has the protruding mouth of, you guessed it, a pig. Some folks tend to liken the Nuckelavee to a centaur. I suppose they're trying to fit this equine horror into a reality they can wrap their heads around. But pay no mind to these naysayers. If you ever see one of these creatures in the wild, there ain't no mistaking it. So you got all that tucked away, adventurer? Can you picture the beast? Well, what if I told you the Nuckelavee only bears that flayed, fleshless form when it walks the land? Aye, once it slips beneath the waves, it takes another form entirely. But no one I spoke with, nor record I found, could shed any light on this aquatic, mysterious shape. So if that hasn't turned you off, or maybe it's turned you on to wanting to go hunt the Nuckelavee, then its favourite haunt is the sea around the Northern Isles of Scotland. Here it swims beneath the black waves, far from prying eyes. But from what the old lore tells, it seems you'll most often find one near beaches or shorelines, although they've been known to wander further inland. So if you're on a lovely beach walk, and the air suddenly grows thick with the scent of brine and seaweed, then adventurer, you best keep your hand on your hilt, and your wit sharper than that blade, for you never know. Could be one's already dragged itself ashore. So, other than shifting forms between water and land, what else can the Nuckelavee do? Well, here's where the tale gets even more interesting. Had a few farmers swing by the tavern the other day. Some of them even had a run-in with the Nuckelavee, would you believe? They said its head exudes a toxic vapour that ain't too friendly to crops. Turn their field into a wilting yellow mass before the sun had got its slippers on. Some had livestock too. And trust me, this unnatural gas didn't sit well with them either. Eyes clouded, foam dripping from their mouths, and staring off into the void. Left the poor soul sick beyond fixing. The Nuckelavee really doesn't like farmers. Many of the books I've found say it's responsible for unnaturally long droughts. And I can't stress enough just how much this creature despises humans. Unless it's a little peckish. Then it'll take great joy in feasting on any and all humans caught in its path. Now I can tell from the look in your eye, you're thinking the Nuckelavee must have at least some love for other horses. Well, my hope-filled adventurer, you'd be wrong. It curses them too. Any horse that becomes target of this skinless steed is stricken with a wasting sickness known as morasheen, a blackening rot that eats them alive, from the hooves up. Only way to eat a horse, I say. And this thing spreads like wildfire. One horse keels over, then 5, then 10, and before you know it, the whole stable's silent. Now looking at you, I assume you're familiar with kelp ash. Sure you are. Used to make soap, glass, that sort of stuff. Well, the people of these Northern Isles produce quite a bit. And to create it, you got to burn a lot of seaweed. But the stench, the stench. Turns out, that smoke drives the Nuckelavee mad. And not in the way you'd like. Once the smoke's on the wind, that beast starts charging. Literally nothing infuriates this horseman more than this odour. It's sometimes said that in its rage, the Nuckelavee unleashes a wild rampage of plague, spreading across the land like a flood, drowning all it encounters. So if you travel to take you to the Orkney Isles, tread carefully, because the Nuckelavee bears naught but ill will for any human soul it crosses paths with. Right then, adventurer. You best keep this next part in that sharp head of yours. It could mean the difference between walking away or not. So if you happen to be in Nuckelavee territory, it's best if it's raining. If it's raining, you're in luck. Seems the Nuckelavee got no taste for the downpour. Kind of strange, eh? Loves the sea, but can't stand a bit of rain. Never once has it been spotted coming ashore while the skies are open. And in a similar vein, this human horse horror's got no stomach for fresh water. So if its hooves are at your heels, make for the nearest stream. Crossing the river will throw it off. Even a good splash of fresh water has been said to buy just enough time for you to leg it. And lastly, come summer, you and the greater folks of Orkney can sleep a little easier. At least from this demon. Legend says the Nuckelavee locked away, tight, by the Mythra of the Sea, an ancient Orcadian spirit, and the only entity able to rein in this monstrous steed. And with that, we're finished with our creature for the day. We've learned that unless you want all your plants dead, never let a horse cough in your garden. And that bell means it's last call here at Creature Tavern. So grab yourself one more drink for the road. And until next time, tread carefully, adventurer. You never know when you might wander into the weird.